Hello, my name is Sonia Ross. I'm a psychotherapist, an intuitive messenger, and an author. And this is a special video I've been guided to record connected to the upcoming solar eclipse and healing the father wound. So, I've been trying to educate myself about the upcoming solar eclipse. I'm not an astrologer. I don't do astrology. I just try to, know about certain things that are happening in the universe so that I can put my own energies in alignment with them. And so I was educating myself about that, listening to a couple of people who speak about astrology and eclipses and things like that in a way that I can understand. And one of the people said something very interesting. Well, first, let me just back up a little bit. So I had been guided to do this video for a while around the father wound. My own biological father, his birthday was on April 2nd. And so I had been thinking about him and etc. And I wanted to do something about the father wound. But then I checked in with spirit. And when the day I was going to record the video, I was guided that that was not the right time to record it. And it was because I needed some additional information. And so in between that time and this time, I've been listening about the upcoming solar eclipse and things like that. And what came up in one of the people I was listening to, she said that the solar eclipse signifies a new emotional beginning. It's like a way for us to do an emotional reset. And I was like, wow, that's really, really interesting. An emotional reset. And then I was like, wow, I just kind of like let that sit with me and sink in. And I was like, well, if I'm doing a video about the father wound, what better time to do an emotional reset than do it during the solar eclipse? And so this video is going to be about whatever spirit brings through first. But in my human mind, it's about those of us who have the father wound. And that's a lot of us, most of us in certain ways. If we didn't know our fathers, if we didn't know who our father was, if we never met our father, if we had a very contentious, angry relationship with our father, if we feel abandoned by our father, if our father was emotionally unavailable, whatever the list is, whatever wound someone is carrying around their relationship with their father, whether they're physically still on the earth or they've gone to the spirit realm, whatever the case may be. This video is for us. This video is for those of us who have very complicated relationships. And this video is about helping people to use the energy of the solar eclipse that is on April 8th, to use it as an emotional reset around our father wound. That doesn't mean that we have to reach out to people who've harmed us, people we don't feel safe around. This is about us doing an emotional reset and letting the spiritual realms know that we are ready to do the necessary work emotionally within ourselves so that we can have a better experience in life. That's what healing is about, for us to have a better experience in life and a better experience so that we can experience the 3D, the third dimension, in a more peaceful and calm way, regardless of what's happening outside of us. And so, it's, but it's also about not skipping any steps. Sometimes when I work with my clients, and they're like working with their stuff around parents and mothers and fathers, etc. They're like, oh my gosh, this has been going on for so long. And I'm like, yeah, it is going on for a long time because that's one of the things our soul came here to learn about. Our soul came into this dimension to learn through the experience of these so-called wounds. Our soul came here to learn about itself and what it can do and what it's capable of and how it responds to pressure and how it can navigate pressure, um, by having certain things on the journey: mother wounds, father wounds, what the whole list, right? And the list can be like a million pages long. So there is no skipping steps. There is no rushing. There is no, you know, workarounds. You have to do the work. I hope if you're watching this video, you're interested in doing that work and you're interested in sustaining yourself while you're doing it. This is not a race. This is not a sprint. This is a marathon. This is part of the soul journey. The soul journey when we incarnate is to learn about ourselves through these experiences. And some of these experiences are wounds. And so if we're learning about ourselves through experiences, through wounds, spirit has certain ways and certain things that it sets up beforehand that can help us when we use our power and we use our intention to use the time that we have here in the most intentional way so we can get the most out of it. So if we have this upcoming solar eclipse on April 8th, let's use that energy. If it's going to be an emotional restart, let's use that to restart a new beginning, a new chapter around our father wound, and I'm sure spirit will have some guidance at the end. I will just say my recommendations to you would just be, as we approach the solar eclipse, and if there's any type of new emotional page you want to turn in your life, a chapter, sit in meditation, sit in intention. I didn't say set an intention. I said sit in intention that you will use this new energy to usher in a new phase of your life, and that it'll span years, and that it'll bring healing, new perspectives, higher wisdom and guidance, so that you can free yourself and have a new beginning. Okay. So I've shuffled the cards. See what's left. Spirit, what would you like to tell us about this upcoming solar eclipse? Okay, so 2 cards popped out. I'm not going to keep these. Okay, but will show you 2. So these 2 cards came out of the deck: cooperation and scrutiny. So I'm just going to say we have to cooperate with the universe and the energies that are in our life at this time. We have to have a spirit of cooperation within ourselves, right? We have to have a spirit of cooperation within ourselves to heal. And scrutiny. We have to scrutinize what's happening inside of us. We just cannot just be going with the flow, with this huge weight that we've been carrying on our back, all of our lives, about situations that we were born into, et cetera, that we did not lay the seeds for, but we carry the burden of them. Okay, so another card came out. Harmony. So Spirit, I'll just say about this card that Spirit wants us to step into a more harmonious energy with ourselves, to step into a more harmonious energy with ourselves. Because, the days of us just living in turmoil are over, especially if you're in a Black body. I want to highly, 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 highly encourage you to end that relationship with disharmony and step into an energy of harmony. But as human beings on the planet, we are ending that relationship with disharmony and accepting disharmony as just the way it is. We are coming out of that energy. So I could say a lot more about that. I was going to put these cards back, but let me just check in with Spirit, because they may want me to keep these cards, because they told me to pull 7 and like 3 have already come out. So let me see here. So, okay, let me keep the card. Would you like me to post an additional 7? So what we're going to do, so Spirit has said they want me to keep these 3 cards, and so they came out. They were cooperation, they were scrutiny, and they were harmony. So very pretty cards. Here we are, right? We're going to keep these 3 cards. And then what we're going to do is that I'm going to pull the next 7 cards. So, so those are the messages about those. The time of just living in internal disharmony is over. We have to live in harmony inside of ourselves. First and foremost, we have to scrutinize and look at everything that's going on inside of us. Like I said before, no shortcuts. This is the work we came to do on a soul level on this planet, on this earth. There are no shortcuts. You know what? I hate that word hack. Do you have a hack for this? There are no hacks. Your soul having a human experience. There are no hacks. There are no shortcuts. All these things that feel burdensome are the things that you came to work through in this lifetime. And so we have to do that work. We have to enter a spirit of cooperation. We have to enter a spirit of cooperation, number one, inside of ourselves, and a spirit of cooperation with the universe and its elements and its signs and its symbols. Okay. So Spirit's going to have more to say about that. That's just what Sonia is saying off the top of her head. Okay. Put these in order right here. I love it. These cards are so pretty. So that's the cooperation card right here. That's the scrutiny card, right? It's kind of like a puzzle. And so this puzzle is our internal self, right? Inside of ourselves. And then you have the eye peeking through and really kind of like getting a focus and a focusing their gaze on what needs to be done. Then you have this beautiful, beautiful, beautiful card of harmony. And this is the harmony that awaits us if we do this work. And it really can be beautiful and it really can be peaceful. And we all deserve that. All deserve beauty. We all deserve peace. And we all deserve a deeper understanding of ourselves, our life purpose, and why we're here. Okay, so I'm going to put these off to the side here. Okay, put these up there. Okay, so let me shuffle again. Spirit, speak to us about the solar eclipse and the Father Moon. You've given us the introduction on cooperation, scrutiny, and harmony. Speak to us on the Father. How can we use the energy of the solar eclipse for a new beginning and to start fresh, to heal the wound related to the Father Moon? Awesome. We would like to call in the well and wise male figures from my bloodline who are well, who are wise, who are healed, who have perspective now. We call in them. We call in them to come forward also with your wisdom, learned through the ages around this issue to help us heal. Share your wisdom with us about the solar eclipse and the Father Moon. Okay, so Spirit has asked me to pull 7 cards. Okay. And this won't be the first video I'm doing on this subject. Spirit has given guidance that he won't, that he, look, I was about to go into my masculine pronouns. Spirit is not a he, that they would like me to use, do a series on this, right? A series about the father, a series about the mother. So we're going to call the mother the moon, and we're going to call the father the sun, okay? That's upcoming. And when I create this, I'm going to do a whole playlist on it. So people be able to check in with it. Always about what we can do to gain further wisdom about why our soul made the choices that it made to have certain experiences, how we can engage with them with intention, and how we can really, really change our lives and change our focus and not feel victimized and traumatized and abandoned. It can be painful. It can be very, very, very painful. So I know there may Be a lot of emotions for people whenever they watch this video. But just be with yourself in the emotions. It's coming up to be cleared, and your support, your guides and your angels, they 100% want you to clear it because your soul wanted you to clear it, you know? Okay. Okay, Spirit. So the first card we have is Departure. Look how pretty this card is. And so I love this deck because they're so beautiful. Okay, so this first card is Departure. Again, the deck I'm using is the Sacred She Tarot. So the first card we're using is Departure. The next card we have is Frozen. Frozen. Okay. The next card we have, you see how Spirit is listening? Look, Integrity. The father and the child, the Black father and the Black daughter, the masculine and the feminine. Whatever ethnicity you are, this represents you and your father. Beautiful, Spirit, always on time. Perseverance. Perseverance. Okay. Next card is labor of love. So interesting. Explore. So explore goes well with scrutiny. We have to be explorers. And the next card is competition. Okay, interesting. We'll see what Spirit has to say about that. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful competition. So what I'm going to first say, which is interesting. So Spirit's first message for us is that none of the cards we got are considered quote unquote major arcana cards, right? None of these cards are. And so what I think this is saying is Spirit is saying this is a situation that can be resolved. This is a wound that can be healed. It does not have to be something that is just weighing us down, impacting our relationships, impacting how we attract friendships or mates or whatever the case may be. Spirit is saying, because if I'm doing like a regular, tarot something for a person, I would, in a major arcana, what comes up, I'm like, okay, so this is a really significant life lesson. But so I'm doing this for all of us, for the collective. And Spirit is saying, this is important, but this is not something that has to ruin our lives. You know what I'm saying? It does not have to be something that we carry with us. Yes, our soul chose to have certain experiences, but this is overcomable. Okay. That's not really a word, I know, but this is able to be overcome. This is overcomable. You can overcome this. And the wound with the father can be diabolical, right? It can be diabolical. Because if you didn't have a father, you don't even know what that's like. So you're kind of like, well, I've been okay. You haven't, but we're going to get there, right? But with intention and knowing, you can still heal that because there is some grief there. There is some pain there. There is that absence of the unknown. And some people didn't have a father figure, father person in their life, person just gone. And they have longed for it. So you have the people who are like, I'm fine, he wasn't there, I'm good. And then you have the other people who are like, he wasn't there and I'm hurt and I'm devastated. And all of that is welcome because there is a wound there, whether you choose to acknowledge it or not. There is a wound there whether they choose to acknowledge it or not. Okay, so the first card Spirit is bringing up is Departure. And Spirit is saying this card is representing the people, the male figures, the biological entities in our life who left. So Spirit is saying the people who left and turned away from us were grieving, and they were showing a lack of wisdom in how to handle their grief. Spirit is saying that they were grieving their lack of purpose, the lack of meaning they had in their life, and shame for a variety of things. And so they felt like their best decision was to depart and walk away. What else would you like to say about the departures? So Spirit is saying, don't think that when a soul makes this decision, it is without consequence. That the individuals who leave do feel the consequences of that. But what they do to numb themselves and hide their pain is like they become frozen. They become frozen and they freeze that pain and put it on ice, as it were, so they don't have to experience it. What would you like to say? Are we done saying anything about departure? Okay, so Spirit is going to say, Spirit is basically saying we're going to keep talking in circles and we're going to take it down deeper and deeper, deeper levels. Okay, so first, yes, so they depart. To deal with that departure and the grief they feel, they freeze their emotions and put them on ice. And as we know, when we're dealing with masculine entities, they are very good with compartmentalizing and putting it over there. So they freeze themselves. They freeze themselves. They freeze their energy. What else would you like to say about being frozen? And they disconnect from a part of themselves. And they disconnect from this part of themselves, the part of themselves that was in integrity. Because it's really interesting, right? This is a card of fire, and this card is showing ice, and they're showing up side by side. And the other card on the other side of the father card is another card of snow. So look, so the masculine energy is being surrounded by coldness. The masculine energy is being surrounded by coldness and wintry scenes. Okay. Spirit is really here because my crown chakra is doing its thing right now. Okay. So what else would you like to say about integrity? Spirit is saying acting out of integrity is no person's intention or plot when they come into this world. Acting out of integrity is a sign of confusion and self-limitation and a disconnection from their power. But to manage that lack of integrity and the disharmony that they have sowed in the lives of others, they have to put themselves on ice and kind of disconnect from a part of themselves. And then they have to move into the energy of perseverance. You know, they have to just move ahead because that's the journey of Earth survival, being focused on the material. And they have to just persevere. What else would you like to say about perseverance, Spirit? So Spirit is saying perseverance in the face of a crumbling internal disaster. Spirit is saying that often, most time, Spirit is saying 99%, whether they choose to acknowledge it on a conscious level or not, subconsciously, they are moving away from an internal disaster. And a suppression of pain is necessary to forge ahead. What else would you like to say about this, Spirit? The suppression of pain is necessary to forge ahead, and it's done oftentimes with those in the masculine role, the male role. There's no time to be belittled. They must move ahead. Is there anything else you And the next card we have is the labor of love. So this is a beautiful card too. And it's interesting that we're getting all these family cards. We're getting a lot of cards about unity and family and harmony. We have the harmony card, we have the cooperation card, we have the father card. I'll call that the father card. He's the king of wands in the Rider-Waite deck. We have, you know, just, a lot of energy cards here. Oh, excuse me, not energy, a lot of cards of cooperation and love and connection. And I think that's Spirit's message for us, right? So, what would you like to say about the labor of love? Healing is a labor of love. Coming into oneness with yourself is a labor of love. When those act out of integrity with us, related to the father wound, it is our job and it is our responsibility to labor in love to heal ourselves, to bring healing to ourselves, to bring enlightenment to ourselves, and to understand the necessity of this journey. Because our journey on the physical is twofold, right? We have the 3D, things happen in the home, the father may have left, or he's disconnected from the family, or he was harsh, or whatever the issue is, and you feel wounded by the experience. And then you have the soul level, which is that the soul chose, yes, it was a choice on the soul level, on the spirit level, in the heaven realm, the fifth dimension, to figure out ourselves, to experience the soul through this experience. So Spirit is saying it is now a labor of love on our part to reconnect, to realign, to bring ourselves back into wholeness. There is no wholeness without true love. And that true love is not external. That true love comes from within. And it's not something that is picked up in 30 days or 45 days. It is a lifelong process, and it is the journey of the soul. The journey of the soul is a labor of love. It's a labor of love. It's a labor of perseverance. It's a labor of deeper understanding. And Spirit is saying, that is what we are here to do, is to understand that this journey we are on is a labor of love. And going on this journey of loving, of the labor of love, is the only thing that will make these wounds, this father wound, the intensity of this journey worth anything for you. And it will be the only thing that will help you to come out on the other side. Okay, so I'm sensing some male ancestral energy here. And so I'm just asking what they would like to say. The male ancestral energy is encouraging us to explore this pain, to give voice to it, to acknowledge it. Because on the other side, in the spirit realm, they are more whole and complete in understanding of why they did certain things on the physical, why they did certain, and their understanding has increased on the other side. And they're saying that they can be called on to offer support for those who want to do this deeper work. They can be called on. They understand that this is a deep wound, that many are fearful, many are frightened, many had very toxic and traumatic relationships with male energy in their life related to their father wounds, different abuse situations, etc. They're saying if your whether your biological person, father person, is in the physical or not, you do not have to deal with that energy if you don't want to. but they're saying ancestral male energy is saying that this is, I called in the energy of beings who are healthy and wise. They're saying they can be supportive of this exploration of healing this wound so that you can really feel the nourishment you may not have felt with your father figure in this life, or your biological father, around, or whoever it is that this wound is attached to. Or if it's just a vacancy, whatever, if it's just a vacancy, this energy is saying they are here to help support, offer wisdom, offer counsel, offer guidance. This energy feels very, very, very wise, very, very intact, and very, very whole. And they understand the journey of souls who incarnate in a male masculine body and get caught up in that male identity and act in harmful ways. They understand that. They've seen it, they have healed it within themselves, and they have the energy of healing they want to bring to those who are open to receiving this healing energy from them. They're saying you no longer have to be scared, you no longer have to be afraid of male energy, of masculine energy. But one of the first things you have to do is heal that wound within yourself, within your body, within your energy centers, so that you feel very grounded in your own body, so that you can have a different relationship with masculine energy, male bodies, masculine energy and male bodies in all of your relationships and around the father wound. I know this is sounding very abstract as I'm saying it, so because I'm kind of in a state here, but I hope it's making sense. So the energy is here. They are here to support. They are here to love and bring healing. And they will help you to let go of all the ideas of woundedness and all those old fractured ideas around maleness, male identity, and feeling safe in that father space with that father energy. And Spirit is saying, because they're all here together with me. Spirit is saying, for example, if you are partnered with someone and you'll have children, and a way the father figure maybe interacting with the children can trigger something in the other person, and it's not based on really what the current person is doing, it's based on that father wound. And this again is how it impacts present day relationships. And so the male ancestral energy is saying, we can help you to heal the fracture, those fractured emotions inside of you. We can help you heal the fractured emotions. What else would you like to say? Fractures can be healed. And they're saying that, I think I've heard this somewhere, oftentimes when there's a break in a bone, it heals back twice as strong. And so they're encouraging you not to be afraid to do this work, because you'll be twice as strong for it. And then you'll also feel more resilient, and you'll also feel more at peace. What else would you like to say? And they're bringing up the perseverance card. They want you to persevere as well. They want you to persevere and not give up on yourself, and not give up on the idea of wholeness inside and, internal integrity. And they're saying that there's nothing, for those of us who have this father wound, they want us to know that there is nothing missing inside of you. There is nothing missing. It's just a lack of access. It's just a lack of access but now we can gain access and we can do what we need to do, the labor of love, so that we can heal, explore, and set and chart a new path forward. Interesting. And when we do this work, they're saying, we'll end this competition with male energy. We'll end this competition, or maybe the threat that some of us feel from male energy. And this is not any of that pseudo BS about being submissive if you're female and you date or in heterosexual relationships, or even if you're in a same gender loving relationship. And sometimes people take on certain roles and they want people, one of the feminine partner to be submissive. This is about none of that. Spirit doesn't honestly talk about submissiveness because it's weird. I'm just going to be honest, it's weird. And but they do talk about ending, because spirit is all about wholeness, and in spirit nothing's unequal, and so they would not encourage us to take on an unequal or lesser status in any way on the third dimension. But they want us to end the feelings of competition that we have. And I think for competition, they're saying threat. Like if there's a feeling of threat, or, yes, this is two kites. And again, this is another card that has children. And interesting, I just noticed this. So we had three cards, we have two cards that came forward, and they both have children, and they're both from the same suit. And this card is a 5 card, and the 5 cards are about change, about conflict and change. And so this is a card of conflict, and spirit is saying that we can end this internal conflict, this threat, this lack of safety that we feel. Okay. What can we do to end the threat, the conflict, and lack of safety? Okay, so now spirit is bringing in the 3 cards from earlier. We have to begin scrutinizing, right? Scrutinizing what is happening, scrutinizing our internal process, looking at these wounds, not just taking them for granted, not just saying, it's always been this way, it'll always be this way. Spirit is saying, no, we have more power, we have more agency. We are souls after all. We are souls having a temporary physical experience. So don't ever say it's always going to be this way. That's disempowerment. No, nothing has to always be anyway. We have the power, and if we focus in that power and scrutinize what's happening within us, that is how we affect change. And is that how the solar eclipse will be helpful? Yes, Spirit is saying that's how the solar eclipse can be helpful, because the sun is the father, the moon is the mother, and the two are joining in the sky at a certain time for, what is it, 68 minutes or whatever it's going to be. And Spirit saying, as metaphorically, we can rejoin the parts of ourselves that have been disconnected, the masculine and the feminine. Archetypally, as an archetype, we can rejoin the mother and the father, even though on the third dimension, the mother and the father may no longer be together, may not have ever been together, may not have ever really known each other, whatever the case may be. Archetypically, you know what I'm trying to say. We can rejoin those together. We can use these energies of the solar eclipse to rejoin certain energies together, the masculine and the feminine, the mother and the father. And also we can connect with our own internal energies of mother and father for healing. They're saying, the spirit is saying that the solar eclipse is a powerful, powerful intention setting, period. Intention setting. Sit in the intention that the script will be rewritten and we will be whole. Sit in that intention. Allow your guides and angels to inform your decision making as you move forward so that you can have a new experience and rewrite the script. And I'm seeing like a pen going across a page. And Spirit is saying that's us. We have the power to rewrite our scripts, and nothing is happening to us. We must engage with our power so that we understand that we are the creator and the change makers of our reality. So yes, we're born into, our soul makes a choice, picks the parents, picks the dysfunction, picks the wound. We come into it, and through our use of our free will, we figure out how we're going to manage and navigate it to take the soul, if we're open to doing so, to that next higher state of understanding. So we have the power. We have the power. Our soul made choices, and we have the power to use our energy to change and unfold things in a way that can reharmonize our life and heal our spirit. Okay. And so that's why these two cards came up. So Spirit is saying we have to go into being cooperation with our soul and the journey it is on to heal this wound, with intention setting and connecting with our power, our angels, our guides, our ascended teachers. And if none of this makes, if you're not connected to those concepts yet, that's fine. Call on your angels. That's the simplest thing to do. And ask your angels to help you interact with your intuition. Excuse me. Connect with your intuition. Ground in with your intuition. And by doing so, Spirit is saying a deeper harmony awaits, a deeper harmony, a deeper sense of love, a deeper sense of self-love, and just a wholeness, just a wholeness. So Spirit is saying there's a wholeness that awaits you on the other side of healing this wound, of having better relationships, first and foremost with yourself, but then with male energy in your life. And that doesn't always mean things are going to be kumbaya and y'all going to be holding hands. But when you feel more whole inside of yourself, you're less reactive, you're less emotional, and you're more at peace. What would you like to say about reactivity and being emotional? So we're just saying emotions are normal, but they're overplayed in this dimension. So we're saying emotions are overplayed. You're not meant to be here and be a robot. You're not meant to act like you don't have any emotions, but they're very, very much so out of balance on Earth for all of us. And it takes a lot of hard work and discipline to bring your emotions back into balance. And that when you do this work around the father wound, you will bring your emotions back into balance and you'll feel a physical difference. You'll feel lighter, you feel more energetic. Number one, you'll be able to listen and understand yourself better, and you'll be able to listen and understand others better, regardless of what the conversation is. It doesn't even have to be anything around fathers or masculine energy or men or any of that type of stuff. But it'll have Spirit is saying it'll have a transformative effect on your life. And it'll be like a wound closing. It'll be like a wound closing and like a wound just, healing. But Spirit is saying it's not without work and it's not without effort, but you can be completely supported in this work, and it doesn't have to be burdensome. And also the ancestral male energy is saying they're also here to support you so it doesn't feel burdensome. And if people aren't clear what I mean about, or are not clear of what I mean about working with ancestral male energy, say something in the comments and I'll explain a little bit more. There's, different practitioners you can work with, energy practitioners, shamans, things of that nature, and they can help with this. Because on the other side, that energy is that male energy can evolve, and so that it feels more whole and it can hold a certain space for you that maybe your physical father person was not able to. And they're saying that energy is available to you. It's available to all of us. What else would you like to say? What would you like to say about the solar eclipse, Spirit? Solar eclipse is a time of transformation and deep personal change. It's a time to blot out old ideas and welcome in new ideas. It's a time to meet yourself for who you are and not who you've been told to be. Transformation is afoot. That's their word. Transformation is afoot on the earth. And it's going to be happening in waves. But but personally, we're going to be feeling, the energies of deep transformation and personal change. And so that's why it's best to engage with these energies. And that's why they wanted to bring forth this message that one of the ways that it can be engaged with is around the father wound. Don't feel like you are isolated in this experience. This is a global experience. This wound is global. It's not culture specific. It shows up in many, many different cultures, especially in modern times, because there's a lot of dysfunction around men and male energy. But Spirit is saying this is the time that it's being healed. So Spirit is saying, call on the energy and the power of this time to help you affect change in your life and to step into your power of personal transformation. Okay. Let's see. I'm trying to see where my pen is. I'm trying to, I don't know if I remember that. Okay, can't find the pen. Interesting. Oh, okay. I'm just trying to remember the title. Hopefully I'll remember it. Okay. What else would you like to say? The Spirit is also saying we can end these cycles of dysfunction within ourselves. And we've kind of been sold this false bit of goods that we have to talk to the male figure and have some type of closure. And Spirit is saying that's not true. Spirit is saying you can have that closure within yourself. And this is not about you being alone on your journey. It's just people are sometimes unavailable. They're unavailable because they're in spirit. They're unavailable because they're just emotionally unavailable. Sometimes they're just not nice people. But Spirit is saying that you can get the closure that you need by working with your angel team, your guides, and your own intuition for deep transformation and personal change. I think also that's what this cooperation card means. Yeah, this is such a pretty card. It's like 3 hands holding, and I think it's in a sunflower. How beautiful. It's like 3 hands together, like in a sunflower. This is the 3 of Cups. No, not the 3 of Cups, the 3 of Pentacles, I believe, in the tarot. Okay. And so Spirit is saying we have to have that cooperative spirit within ourselves. Again, let me reemphasize, this is not about going to the person who harmed you and looking for closure. That is dumb. I'm just going to be honest. I'm sorry, I shouldn't have said dumb. That's not the right word. I don't agree with that, okay? I apologize for saying dumb. I shouldn't have said dumb. I understand we have parts of ourselves that may want that, but all we would probably wind up doing is re-wounding ourselves. Spirit is saying it's not necessary to jeopardize ourselves emotionally in any way. We can use the power and energy that's on the earth right now. We can use our own intention. We can use our angels, our guides, and different healers in different capacities to help support us through this process so that we become less emotional, less reactive, etc. Is there anything else you'd like to say? The work that is needed is at hand and must be done. You can no longer avoid it because time is of the essence for all of us, because we are in the ascension process. And that those of us who want to consciously participate in the ascension process, we must do this work now, because we cannot live our lives in the vibration of woundedness or antagonism or fear. Anything else you'd like to say? Okay. So Spirit says that's it. Thank you so much, Spirit. Thank you, angels. Thank you, ancestors. Thank you, Spirit guides. Thank you, beloveds. So this reading for the father wound is done. I hope this made sense to you. I hope it spoke to you. Please let me know your thoughts and feelings about it. And remember, this is not a one and done. Use the energy of the solar eclipse on April 8th, 2024 to do a reset around this wound and set a new pattern and chart a new course for your life. Okay. So I hope that resonated with you and I hope that spoke to you. And yeah, okay. So y'all take care. I'm wishing you a wonderful, wonderful day. I hope you have a wonderful, wonderful April 8th or whenever you watch this. And I'm sending you a lot of peace and a lot of love.